Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from ESPN Cricinfo.
3 ODIs to round up this tour of Australia that India will remember for a long time to come. But there's a bigger challenge now, 5.5 months to the World Cup. They'd like to get more and more pieces of their puzzle sorted, both teams. First ODI in Sydney, Sanjay Manjrekar and Bradley Hodge with me on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday to look ahead to it. Let's start with Australia because India are yet to confirm a playing 11 given the uncertainty surrounding KL Rahul and Hardik Pandya. Australia have announced an 11. Now, is this an Australian team that will just change the mood around Australian cricket? Brad Hodge, Aaron Finch leads the side. Alex Carey will open with him in Take the Gloves. Khwaja and Marsh had a forgettable test series. They're slotted 3-4. Hanscom at 5. The all-rounders Stoinis and Glenn Maxwell. Jai Richardson, Jason Behrendorff, Peter Siddle as a much-changed fast-bowling lineup. But they've gone for Nathan Lyon as against Adam Zampa. Thoughts on that team, Hodgie?
Yeah, well, the batting actually looks quite good. I think there's still, some room for improvement, in the middle there with Peter Hanscom, who is a good player of spin, actually. And I think that's probably why he's been selected. But I like, Stoinis and Maxwell at 6 and 7. Gives great depth to our batting and some firepower at the end. So, a very young bowling unit, even though Peter Siddle's, an older statesman now. He hasn't played one-day cricket for a long, long time, and Nathan Lyon as well. So I'm a little bit surprised they've gone for Nathan Lyon over Adam Zampa. I think Adam Zampa's actually performed very well for Australia when he's got chances. But he just seems to be the one unlucky person who always seems to miss out. But all in all, Carey's a really good player, and to partner Aaron Finch at the top, who needs some runs as well, is important. And Usman Khawaja comes back in with some skill and some left-handers in the middle. So, yeah, it looks fairly competitive.
Yeah, you have to go back to November 2010 for the last of Peter Siddle's 17 ODIs. But if we are going to be intrigued by an Australian selection, we have to go with Nathan Lyon over the wrist spin of Adam Zampa, who I thought bowled quite well in the T20s.
So not only have they gone retro with the uniform, they've gone retro with some of the players as well. And I like old school players coming back in because you want to see how they think, whether they think different from modern day players. Nathan Lyon is very interesting. The world is going wrist spin, and Australia have gone back to a finger spinner. Now, when you look at Nathan Lyon's inclusion, I'm wondering how many left-handers are there in that Indian team. Is that the reason why Nathan Lyon is in the team? No, just the one Shikhar Dhawan, and if Jadeja plays. So, interesting. But what you might get from...
That's not a team that would intimidate India, though.
And India is a much improved team since the last time they were in Australia. So, India starting off on paper is the stronger team for me.
Now, we don't have absolute confirmation on the eve of this game of the playing 11. If that comes in time, so be it. But issues surrounding KL Rahul and Hardik Pandya's availability, an impending suspension if you're following what's happening on the site. Let us focus on the information that we do have. There's no Jasprit Bumrah, given, I think, a much-deserved rest after the workload he had in the test series, which then puts a question on who would put their hand up. Rohit Sharma saying maybe 1 or 2 places are up for grabs, but otherwise most of the squad is set for the World Cup. There's Khalil Ahmed, who's looked better with every game. Sanjay, Mohammad Siraj has got a chance in Bumrah's absence. Mohammad Shami returns to the ODI setup, and Bhuvneshwar Kumar has not had a lot of cricket in the last 6 months or so.
So when I look at the bowling attack, there's the couple of game changes there. Kuldeep Yadav and Chahal, although Chahal's wicket-taking abilities in recent times has gone down. Bumrah has become a very sort of, India depends a lot on Bumrah, especially in the death overs. So I would like to use Shami a little bit and see whether he can. There was a time when Shami used to bowl the death overs, had good control over the Yorkers. So I would play him all the matches just to have a look at Shami, the death bowler, because Bhuvneshwar Kumar in 50 overs cricket hasn't quite made an impact. With Hardik Pandya, likely, I think there will be a suspension there. So Jadeja might just come in, and Kedar Jadhav comes in at number 5, Ambati Raidu at 4.
The rest of the squad sort of picks itself.
Yeah.
The big challenge for any overseas team, opposition team in white ball cricket against India has been how they play Kuldeep Yadav and maybe to an extent Chahal too, Hodgie. Does that explain somewhat Peter Hanscom being picked over anyone else in that team? Would you have liked to see Chris Lynn keep his place in the ODI setup or Travis Head?
Yeah, well, I think that must be the only reason. I mean, Peter Hanscom only about 2 weeks ago got dropped because his technique wasn't up for Test match cricket. I don't know, one-day cricket's a lot different. He's a very good player of spin. I think that must be one of the only reasons, I guess, where he holds his side. He hasn't played for Australian one-day cricket for a not for a while. But I thought Darcy Short, along with Travis Head and Chris Lynn, were actually getting nice opportunities to try and, push for greater honours or, have more of an impact for the Australian cricket side. And this would have been a really good challenge. But I'm not sure why you needed to kick all three of those guys out of the team. I certainly thought Darcy Short was getting some good exposure at the top and actually starting to learn his game. That's the one thing. If you promote a youngster, you've got to give them opportunity, time to flourish. And, we're still 15 odd games left to go before the World Cup. You can easily go back to a David Warner and Steve Smith. They're going to slot in quite nicely. But, these younger guys, I think you should have stuck with them or persisted with them through this series to give them a real good chance.
It's a good observation when you ask that question. I think that is the only reason Hanscom is in the team, because Australia is wary of the impact of the wrist spinners in the middle, and maybe that is the reason Chris Lynn is not playing, because he's not actually looked good against wrist spinners in the IPL. So
India's significant favourites for you for this series?
Yes, yes.
Simple as that. So. Let's have a look at the Australian retro look. Sanjay Manjrekar referred to it earlier. They've gone for an old school look, throwback, make the Aussie public feel good about the better days of Australian cricket. Well, I say better days, they've had decades and decades of great days, Aussie cricket. You like the look, Hodge?
I like the look, yeah. I think a few should go with the Glenn Maxwell look, with the beard, and go back to the old days of the mustache, maybe, the Murphy's mustache.
And long hair.
So, I'm really spirit of things. I like it. I think it's good. Turns us back to the clock of World Series cricket days and when we were pretty good at the game. So we need to get back to winning ways. So whatever works for us, retro colours, green and gold, by all means go for it.
Whatever colours they might be, you go with Sanjay. India favourites for this ODI series?
Oh, a long mile by absolute stretch of the home straight. They are favourites. I think they've certainly got a well-balanced side. They just know the roles in the team. Great options for Virat to work with. And I think probably the only two things look vulnerable in both sides, that look extremely vulnerable, is the death bowling and who's going to step up to the plate. For Australia in the absence of Mitchell Starc and Patrick Cummins, and then also with Jasprit Bumrah out of the side, real good opportunity for someone to step up and take that role.
All right, we'll see how things go. First ODI between the two teams in Sydney on Saturday.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.